Today we get to talk about food. In particular, we will look at the diets of Americans, list essential nutrients and explain the primary functions of each, and discuss some strategies for healthful eating. First, let us take a look at the standard American diet. Ironic that the standard American diet is often shortened to SAD. Let's narrow in on the culprits. High meat intake, especially red meat, dairy, in particular high-fat dairy, processed foods, including but not limited to more meat, treats made from refined sugars, fried foods, with French fries being a staple for many of us, refined grains, and sugary drinks. A whole lot of nothing calories you can pick up at any drive-thru, right? All the super easy stuff you can grab on a road trip or when you only have a few minutes to toss down some lunch and get back to work. These nutritionally void foods come with a smorgasbord of problems, so they're not really saving you any time or money. They're just delaying the inevitable, less time, taking 6 days or worse, and less money from all the medical bills and prescriptions. About 63% of the calories in the standard American diet come from processed food, or added fats and oils, sugars, and refined grains. About 25% of our calories come from animal food or meat, dairy, eggs, and seafood. Only about 12% of our calories come from plant food, or vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, legumes, and other whole grains. And it is estimated that half of this category may be processed, such as almonds and candy bars, apples and apple pie, and spinach and frozen spinach souffle. Of course, these do not really count as healthy options. Sadly, the American or Western diet leads to lifestyle disease and ultimately premature death. Diabetes, obesity, heart disease, and cancer are the leading chronic conditions in our country. About 30 million Americans, or almost 10% of our population, has diabetes, and 84 million have prediabetes. About 40% of people in the U.S. over 20 years old are obese, and an additional 32% are overweight. About 92.1 million American adults are living with some form of cardiovascular disease or the after effects of stroke, accounting for 1 in 7 deaths. Each year, over 1.7 million new cases of cancer will be diagnosed in the U.S., accounting for more than 600,000 deaths annually. There are many reasons why the standard American diet has deteriorated, but let me suggest that nutrition is just confusing. Not only is it complex to the average person, nutrition is a fairly new science, and researchers are still discovering new data to help us find the optimal diet. As Americans, here is where we get our nutrition information. The USDA first started putting out national standards for nutrition in 1954. Back then, we had the 4 food groups: meat, dairy, grains, and fruit and vegetables. My early nutrition education was based on this. It took until 1992 for them to revise this and release the food pyramid. Some of you may remember this version. Health educators and nutritionists were so excited to see the food pyramid, and there were some positive components of the original food pyramid. 13 years later, the USDA released the new revised pyramid. It is certainly more visually appealing, but somewhat ambiguous if you ask me. The nutrition information was available, but you had to dig to find it. 6 years later, they released My Plate. Most of you have probably seen My Plate. This is simple and looks a little like an updated version of the 4 food groups. It does, however, offer a great deal of sound nutrition advice. Again, you have to dig to find it. Looks like we're making progress, right? Why then, as the USDA makes improvements to our national nutrition standards, does diabetes, obesity, heart disease, and cancer continue to rise? Think about the mission of the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture. While they have several mission areas, with food, nutrition, and consumer services being one, Another area is the support and promotion of the agricultural industry. Certainly not a bad thing. However, we need to consider how objective they can be when releasing dietary guidelines. Ultimately, the USDA promotes the meat and dairy processors of the United States, and elimination or reductions can draw the attention of members of Congress and the industries that they represent. The Healthy Eating Plate, created by nutrition experts at the Harvard School of Public Health and the editors at Harvard Health Publications, was designed to address deficiencies in the USDA's My Plate. The Healthy Eating Plate provides detailed guidance in a simple format to help people make the best eating choices. Prior to that, Harvard released the Healthy Eating Pyramid to address the deficiencies in the USDA food pyramid. Both of these are based on the latest sound research and are not influenced by any lobbying organizations. We will use these resources as our guide for healthy eating. Let's turn now to our food. We will begin with the building blocks, essential nutrients. These are the nutrients that we need for survival. I like to begin with water because it is the most essential nutrient. Then we will review the macronutrients, which are nutrients that provide calories or energy, also called energy nutrients. We need to consume large amounts of macronutrients, which are carbohydrates, protein, and fat. What are those numbers beside the macronutrients? The numbers represent the amount of calories that 1 gram of that macronutrient provides. So we get 4 calories from 1 gram of both carbohydrates and protein. Fat provides 9 calories for every gram, more than twice as many calories. We can also get calories from alcohol, and we get 7 calories from every 1 gram of alcohol. Alcohol, however, is not a macronutrient because we do not need it for survival. In addition to water and macronutrients, our bodies need micronutrients to survive. Micronutrients are nutrients our bodies need in smaller amounts and include vitamins and minerals. Let's take a look at each nutrient in detail. As you know, we cannot survive for more than a few days without water. Our bodies are about 60 to 70% water. H2O is the perfect drink. It has no calories and no additives. It's the best beverage for quenching thirst and rehydrating our system. Water should be the beverage you turn to most of the time. Water provides everything the body needs to restore fluids lost through metabolism, breathing, sweating, and the removal of waste. What about those other drinks? Let's take a look at the recommendations from the Harvard School of Public Health. Drink water, tea, or coffee with no sugar added. Limit milk and dairy products to 1 to 2 servings a day. Limit juice to 1 small serving a day. And avoid sugary drinks. And yes, Harvard School of Public Health created a graphic to provide guidelines for healthy drinks. At least half of your daily fluid should come from water. For a person who needs 12 cups of fluid a day, that would mean 6 cups of water. More is fine, up to 100% of your daily beverage needs. About 1/3, or 3 to 4 cups, can come from unsweetened coffee or tea. If you flavor your coffee or tea with a lot of sugar, cream, or whole milk, then drinking less would help manage weight. If you take a pass on coffee or tea, choose water instead. Low-fat milk can make up another 20%, or about 2 8-ounce glasses. Less is fine, just make sure you get your calcium from another source. 100% fruit juice and alcoholic beverages do add some nutrients. So, a small glass, about 4 ounces, can come from 100% fruit juice. And alcohol in moderation means no more than 1 to 2 alcoholic drinks for men and no more than 1 alcoholic drink for women daily. Remember, alcohol adds calories. Ideally, eliminate sugary drinks. That includes those made with sugar and high fructose corn syrup, as well as artificial sweeteners. If you must indulge, limit artificially sweetened beverages to 32 ounces per day, and those sweetened with sugar or high fructose corn syrup to 8 ounces per day. Sugary drinks include soda, fruit punch, lemonade and other aids, sweetened powdered drinks, and sports and energy drinks. People who drink sugary beverages do not feel as full as if they had eaten the same calories from solid food. And studies show that people consuming sugary beverages don't compensate for their higher caloric content by eating less food. Fruit juice is not a better option. Even though it has more nutrients, it contains as much sugar and calories as soft drinks, even though the sugars are naturally occurring rather than added sugars. A 2014 study showed that consumers drinking sweetened beverages, whether low calorie or not, tend to have an overall lower quality diet. On any given day, half the people in the U.S. consume sugary drinks. 1 in 4 consume at least 200 calories from such drinks, and 5% drink at least 567 calories, equivalent to 4 cans of soda. According to figures from the beverage industry, soft drink makers produce 10.4 billion gallons of sugary soda pop each year. That's enough to serve every American a 12-ounce can every day, 365 days a year. Here's a look at a day of beverages. At 7 a.m., you grab a glass of orange juice. This adds about 110 calories. At 9 a.m., on your way to work or school, you grab a medium mocha latte. This adds about 350 calories. Before lunch, you need a little pickup, so you down a 20-ounce soda, adding 280 calories. You choose fruit drink with lunch because you just had a soda. This adds 230 calories. With dinner, you have a sweet tea, which adds another 200 calories. And you meet up with your friends for happy hour and allow yourself 1 beer. This adds another 150 calories. Throughout the day, you took in an extra 1,320 calories in beverages. This does not include 1 calorie of food. I say we need a water break before we review macro and micronutrients.